Hello. Hello. How nice to see all of you. Some of you children have left the party before it was finished and over. So, for those who did, for those who stayed with me anyway, we're on chapter 16. But for those of you who are lost and left and not with me now, they're on Facebook, as you know. They'll be on there forever. And they are on my website now. Yay! SusanMintz.com. And they're on my YouTube channel. Yes! My book. Not the hospice one yet. That's a whole nother animal. My book is easily accessible to YouTube, my website, and Facebook. So, my book is thoroughly there for all of you to read free, unless you want to buy it. And what I did today was extremely exciting. I read in its entirety this. You can't see it, obviously, it doesn't matter. I videoed myself reading the Florida Department of Health partnering with HIV Advocate Me. And in that letter, hi Lisa, in that letter, I went through all the details. They did. No, bye, love you, stay with me. But anyway, so the letter from them that they wrote up, and it was done in July 29th, 2019, 3 years ago. So that's what I do on the side. I buy spin brushes, battery operated toothbrushes for HIV dental patients in Palm Beach County to start. However, that is a campaign that's going to go national one day because I just need somebody who knows the right person. Again, it's like I have all these things that are going to happen. If they happen all at once, probably lightning will hit me and I won't even know it. My story made into a movie or a series. Hospice stories, definitely. Oh my God, yes. And though with a touch of lightness to the heavy subject matter. And so I read this document and then I uploaded it to YouTube by myself. And then my web lady will put this document on. So if you go to my website, you'll see oral health, HIV and oral health. It has 2 interviews that somebody did for me, with me, on YouTube. And it has this letter that I read, rather than even have the copy. It was easier for me to read it. Tomorrow I will read it on Facebook. Since you are all giving a respite on Saturdays and Sundays, I shall just read the article on Facebook. But even though you have a document that's wonderfully, it's a wonderful document, but the main thing is now that I'm so comfortable reading this to people that I want to read everything and have it all on either my website, YouTube, or Facebook. And that's where I'm coming from. So if you have stayed with me through most of my book and the new people who have come on recently, thank you. I probably haven't thanked you because you come on right before I'm going to read, and I can't. But I thank you, new people, and I thank you for everyone who's looking out for the right people to help take my ministry forward and to help with my book and this book and give me a chance to reach millions of people around the world and in this country who are, let's say, not served properly by our government. And I mean that sincerely, not that I would live anywhere else, but I did find that there is something that can help, that I can do to contribute, and that is to buy hundreds and hundreds of battery-operated toothbrushes. So when the patients come in, the clients come in, get their teeth cleaned, they get a battery-operated spin brush. It's not much, but it's something that the Lord put in my heart to do. And just like reading, he said, I want you to relax this summer and read your books. I don't question God a lot, and people could think I'm crazy because I have great faith and I believe. I just do what it's in the spirit, what I want to do, what I have to do. I have missions. In life is chapters anyway. And you go from babies to walking to this to that. Then it's chapters in life. And you're not going to be done with your life, your journey in life, and your chapter of life until the time. And then you're done. But until then, you have chapters, going to school, getting married, getting a divorce, having a baby, getting married again, getting divorced again. How do you handle your... That's life. Up and down, back and forth, but you keep going forward no matter what. So anyway, that's where I'm caught up. Website, Committed to Love. My book is all loaded on the website, YouTube channel, and the Florida Department of Health document is now on YouTube and on my Facebook page under HIV Oral Health. So, again, if you've stayed with me all the time, this chapter will not upset you. If you really can't take my stories and you don't want to, that's good. I can understand this, because right off the bat, when you hear what I'm saying here, you probably are going to want to run away. Here we go. Chapter 16. This lady that I bond with, amazing story. Probably one of the best stories in this whole book, for real. You ready? Chapter 16. A woman with terminal lung cancer. Does that say bye-bye to some of you or bring you on? These stories are going to relate to you at some point. One of these stories is hitting in. That's why some of you are not with some more with others. The breast cancer one was huge because everybody knows somebody. Here, this one though too. This is a lung cancer. A woman with terminal lung cancer had to slowly give up everything she loved. Yeah, been there, done that. But she managed to have fun and keep some control by having her daily cigarette, and would smoke until she couldn't ever hold a cigarette again. These are people I'm meeting at the care center and hospice by the sea. Now it's Trustbridge. So these are all true stories. This lady, I mean, she was wonderful. She's terminal lung cancer, and she says, I'm going to keep smoking until I can't hold a cigarette. Well, that's where I'm going to step in. So glasses are off. Thank you. Real ones are on. Oh, it was a productive day. Go to my website. Go to my YouTube channel. Somebody do something. Get me Colgate Palmolive or Johnson & Johnson or Sandra Bullock or Angelina Jolie. She'd love it. Or Jennifer Aniston. Somebody would love my book and love these stories. So everybody, keep your eyes and ears open. So here we go. Chapter 16. A woman with terminal lung cancer had to slowly give up everything she loved, but she managed to have fun and keep some control by having her daily cigarette, and would smoke until she could never hold a cigarette again. Hi, Sherry. All right. Quote, I've never met anyone but you who could make fun feel so easy and right. Quote, I never met anyone but you who could make fun feel so easy and right. Now, end quote. Now, I don't know if I'm talking about this lady right now with this quote, or I'm talking about my husband, Jeffrey, who died. I don't know, because it wasn't specific. It's just making somebody feel fun. Oh, I think it might have been Jeff, because here we go. September 1999. Dear Jeff, at one of your works, he was a great psychologist. Oh, God, read on my website about Jeffrey. Oh, and see the pictures. But he was, you can see the reason I've been a widow for 30 years. At one of your workshops, a student asked what you thought the meaning of the word fun meant. You said, quote, the meaning of the word fun is relative. It means different things at different times for different reasons to different people. We got a lot of difference in there. Listen, fun means different things, 1, at different times, 2, for different reasons, 3, to different people. That's a lot to digest. Fun doesn't have to, fun can last a few moments, an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, or a lifetime. Fun doesn't have to involve doing something. It can be fun doing nothing at all. You don't have to be with someone to have fun. You can have it all by yourself. Having fun is an attitude, and it's a choice. End quote from my darling late husband, the psychologist. Jeffrey, you lived your life by the words you spoke, and it was the energy and zest for life that kept our marriage together for a wonderfully fun 25-year adventure. You made me laugh and you energized me. I remembered another seminar when you gave the participants a needs assessment test. I went through that before. The test was to determine which of the following needs were your strongest and which were not as important. I always said, write these down, all right? You're getting one of the best late psychologists ever to give you this test. So the test was to determine which of the following needs were your strongest and which were not as important. He gave these to big companies, he did these assessments so they could maybe place people in the right places. The needs were fun, freedom, worth, and recognition, and power. So here we go. Fun, freedom, worth, and recognition together, and power. There weren't any wrong or right answers, and it wasn't a pass or fail test. You thought that it would be interesting, Jeffrey, for us to take it, along with the class. When the tests were evaluated, we agreed on 99 out of 100 questions. Our strongest need was for fun. The second was freedom. The third was worth and recognition. And the fourth was power. To this day, it's still the same thing with me. Let me turn I did two things I got to do. Wait. Silent. I don't want any spam blockers there. And my light. Oh, there we go. Hallelujah. So there were 100 questions on various subjects and situations. When the tests were evaluated, we agreed on 99 out of the 100. Our strongest need was for fun. The second was freedom. The third was worth and recognition. And the fourth was power. The test validated something that we already knew. When it came to having fun, we made the perfect couple. He was. God, he was great. I still love him. That's why this book has to be made into a series or a movie, Committed to Love, because it's going to help every single one of you deal with your relationships. And this one is just going to help you in life, that you're going to go through stuff. A few weeks ago at the care, I met a special lady at the care center that reminded me of you, Jeffrey. She said the same thing to me about having fun that you used to say. She said, if you have to ask yourself if you're having fun, then you probably aren't having any. The lady said, if you have to ask yourself if you are having fun, then you probably aren't having any. Think about that. Fun could be eating a pizza, and after that you could be miserable. If you're not happy, you have to ask, am I having fun? Chances are I'm not. She had slowly given up everything she liked to do, but she still managed to have fun doing the one thing that she liked doing the best. She spoke to me openly and candidly about what having fun meant to her at this time in her life. She was a woman who wanted to maintain her independence, to make her own decisions, and to have fun for as long as she could. When I went into the room to answer her call button, she wasn't what I expected to see. A lot of them aren't. She was sitting in a lounge chair, wearing a hot pink turban and black, oh God, I see her, and black Harley-Davidson sunglasses. I mean, picture this in a hospice care center. I go in the room, and she's sitting in the lounge chair wearing a hot pink turban with black Harley-Davidson sunglasses. She couldn't have weighed more than 90 pounds and was hooked up to a portable IV monitor. Her oxygen line was all tangled up and lying next to her on the floor. She was having difficulty breathing, and I assumed that she was calling for help. What made this experience so special was the fact that I was wearing a hot pink turban just like hers. I told her I wore turbans because I didn't know who I was going to meet. I'd seen other patients wearing turbans, but she completely caught me off guard. When we realized that we both were wearing the same colored turbans, we burst out laughing. Wait. She started gasping for air. This one with terminal lung cancer. Remember, terminal lung cancer in a hospice center. So she started gasping for air and laughing at the same time. I put the oxygen line back in her nose, turned off the call button, and waited for her to settle down. I said, my name is Susan, and I'm a volunteer. I love your turban. Having a bad hair day like me, or you just like looking exotic? Hi, my name is Susan, and I'm a volunteer. I love your turban. Having a bad hair day like me, or do you just like looking exotic? She said in a deep, throaty voice, take me out for a cigarette. She didn't ask me. She commanded me. I said, "You look more like you should be smoking a cigar rather than a cigarette. Would you like to go for a ride on your motorcycle too? Don't go away. I'll check with your nurse and I'll be right back." She was eccentric, outrageous, and determined. I love that. Eccentric, outrageous, and determined. Looking in the mirror. I said to her nurse, "The interesting woman with the turban and the sunglasses wants to have a cigarette. Is she allowed to smoke?" "Oh, yes," the nurse said. "She has emphysema." "Oh, yes," her nurse said. So I went in the room and I said, "This interesting woman with the turban and black Harley wants to go out and have a cigarette. Is she allowed to smoke?" "Oh, yes," the nurse said. "She has emphysema and lung cancer, but she's not going to give up her cigarettes. She can take the IV outside on the patio and doesn't need the oxygen all the time. You'll have to light her cigarettes and stay with her." Easy. I went back and said to the woman, wait, let's see where I am here. We're fine. It's just so these stories are so exciting and I see them for the first time, these people. I went back and said to the woman, "Okay, let's light up. You're out of here." I hung the oxygen tube over the chair, dragged the portable monitor with us, and went outside. The ashtray was full of Marlboro cigarette butts, and a large bowl of water served as a makeshift fire extinguisher. Though it continued to get dark, she did not take her sunglasses off. I watched as she slowly removed a gold cigarette lighter and holder from a matching case. She could barely get the cigarette to her lips, but when I lit that cigarette and she took her first drag, her expression said it all. I could see the pleasure that she derived from smoking. I said, "You look very glamorous with your cigarette holder and your sunglasses on." "Yes," she responded. "I think elegance and style are something you were born with. By the way, I sold the motorcycle a year ago." "So," I said, "what brings you here?" This is the story, she said. "I'm 64 years old. I've been smoking since I was 11. 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with emphysema. The doctor said that I should stop smoking. I tried that for 1 hour and said that the torture wasn't worth it. I continued to smoke. I needed oxygen once in a while and couldn't do some physical things I used to do, but I felt good. Gradually it became more difficult to breathe and I started getting dizzy. About 2 years ago, I passed out in the yard. I was taken to the hospital and they discovered a malignant mass in my lung. They operated, followed up with chemotherapy and radiation, but nothing helped. They said I had a year to live. They said I had a year to live. The cancer had finally spread throughout my body. Slowly, I had to give up my job, my activities, my fun, my freedom, and all the other things that made life worth living. Finally, there was only one thing left for me to enjoy, and I wasn't going to give that pleasure up. I would continue to smoke until I couldn't hold a damn cigarette any longer. My family, friends, and doctors could stand on their heads and spit nickels, but I wouldn't give it up. Isn't that wonderful? It's the one thing that I have to look forward to. It doesn't take much anymore to make me happy, but I'm still going to try. I chose to have fun all my life, and dying isn't going to change a thing. I said, "If you want to smoke when I'm at the center, please ring. I would be happy to sit with you. It's been difficult having to give up everything that made your life yours. I understand why you feel the way you do, because I respect you for it. There are many people just like you who feel the same way." She said, "My family doesn't understand how a woman with lung cancer and emphysema could still choose to smoke." I said, "Smoking is your pleasure, and it brings you happiness. It's only allowing you to maintain your independence, to make your own decisions, and to keep some control of your life." We spent a lot of time together over the next few weeks. I came over every day for an hour. After the gym, after my workout, I immediately ran over to the care center. We spent a lot of time together over the next few weeks. I came by every day for an hour, lit her cigarettes, and watched her smoke. Every time she lit up, she was reinforcing her passion for life and her ability to take control of it. We laughed and we cried as she told me about her life, her interests, her family, and her fears. She accepted the fact that she was dying, and she was at peace with herself. She knew how to enjoy life, people, and didn't have any regrets. She was independent, had a wonderful sense of humor, and she was fun. You lose so much control of your life when you're going through a long-term illness that's slow, or an illness or in general when you've had such freedom and fun and you enjoyed life, and little by little, you don't either have the energy, the desire, or you can't. That's why this woman reminded me so much of you, Jeff. She opened up a subject that I had been dealing with for a long time and helped me to understand how important it is for you to do the things that you wanted to do. Your life was filled with fun, passion, and enthusiasm for those 47 years. I know now why you didn't want to get tested for HIV. You couldn't have lived each day to the fullest if you knew that you were positive and that you might become symptomatic with AIDS at any time. It would have disrupted and interfered with your need for fun and would have diminished the quality of your fun time. It would have destroyed the way you lived your life and what you lived for. That was the saddest and cruelest part of this disease. As it slowly progressed, you were forced to give up so many things that you loved to do. Traveling became difficult, eating was a chore, exercising was impossible, and you watched yourself become someone you didn't know or want to be. It stripped you of life's pleasures while it robbed you of your greatest need of all. I watched as your need for freedom, for fun and freedom and independence gradually disappeared, and I stood by helplessly as your need for worth and recognition gave way to tolerance and acceptance. You will go through a process at some point if you have a life-threatening illness, or even the grieving process. Everything in life that you deal with that's overwhelming is a process. Every issue and emotion is a process. It's not complicated. It's just about choices. It's all this is about. Choices in your life, chapters and choices in your life. Your life had become one of compromise and dependency, as many of you probably know. But there was one need that you held on to the end. It was your need for power. It's the only time you used it. You were not going to relinquish the control over that. There was a time when your need for power was secondary. Now it was the only one that mattered. You were just like this woman. You chose to do something that you wanted to do until you died. You would call the shots, control your fate, and would not allow the disease to destroy whatever pride and dignity you had left. You chose to die at home with hospice there to help us. You had the power to decide to the very end what was best for you. I remembered when we were walking on the beach in Hawaii several years ago and I asked you if you wanted to be a millionaire. That was me. You said, if it means not having fun, then I'd rather be poor. He said, I remembered when we were walking on the beach in Hawaii several years ago. I asked you, Jeffrey, do you want to be a millionaire? You said, if it means not having fun, then I'd rather be poor. Hi, Floretta, welcome on. But I said, but what about people who are workaholics? Don't you think that they are having fun, even though they might be working all the time? Just because you think eating out, shopping, going to the movies, traveling, and lying in the sun are fun things to do, does that mean that people who are constantly working aren't having fun? You said, my life is fun because I choose to make it that way. Having fun is a personal thing. It should be easy, and I shouldn't have to think about it. If you like what you do, then financial rewards will always happen. Okay, I said, we are rich in fun, and semi-rich financially. I can settle for that. I stayed for a little while. I love you, Susan. So after he says, my life is fun because I choose to make it that way. Having fun is a personal thing for every one of you out there. Whatever you think having fun is, that's fun. It should be easy. Yeah, you shouldn't work about having fun. And you should have to think about it. Gosh, it's almost 5 or 6 on Friday, June 24th. Am I having fun? No, don't ask yourself that, because the chances are you're not. If you like what you're doing, the financial rewards will always happen. So you say, okay, I said, we are rich in fun and semi-rich financially. I can settle for that. Well, I think that story is worth reading again and again and again, because she was making choices just like all of you are going to make some choices in your life. Some will be easy, some not so easy. You're going to ask for opinions from people. Boy, the more you ask people, the more you're going to hear everything you didn't want to hear. And then before you know it, you got this 1,000-word picture puzzle sitting in front of you. And the only thing you have is a little bit of a border. And everything else is just pieces. Don't compromise your life too much for anybody or anything, because you don't know how the chapter's going to end. Some of you have left because it's not for you. But for those of you who have hung in and new people coming on, I can promise you this series, when someone comes along to want to make it, be similar to Touched by an Angel, which was made a long time ago. So these stories are real. You may not know someone today who smoked cigarettes, and I walked in, she had a hot pink turban on, and she had Harley Davidson black sunglasses on, and her oxygen was in her nose, and she had an IV bag, and she said she's not giving it up. She had terminal lung cancer and emphysema. She was going to smoke, and you know what? If that made her have fun, I took her out every day for a few weeks at 12 o'clock. She had her cigarette. Eventually, all I had to do was light it for her. She couldn't hold the lighter. But that was a wonderful woman who believed that she was not going to give up everything. Neither was my Jeffrey. As hard as it was to face that, when he looked at me and he said, without a word, he was done. Doctor said hospice. A couple months later, he was gone. But he looked at me and took control of his life again. So, you notice the hair? I lost about 3 pounds of hair today. I hope some of you comment. It's very white. And again, you go to my website, SusanMintz.com. You can go to the books page and read all the chapters. You can still buy it. It's optional. And you can go and see photos of myself and pictures with Jeff and myself. And you can read about oral health. And it's a great website. It's got a lot of good stuff on HIV lecture series that I do. You don't get AIDS from loving someone. It's just a really good website. It's been that way for years. We just, tweak it once in a while. So I shall say on another Friday night Shabbat, where is this gone? I started that. God told me to do this in March. I asked him a whole lot of questions in the quiet time. Didn't get much of an answer. Just read your books this summer. So April 3rd, I started reading on Facebook. So you can go back on Facebook from April 3rd and read the whole book. Or you can go on my website, read the short version, or you can do Susan Reads Committed to Love, or they're all on my YouTube channel. You have multiple choices to read Committed to Love. And when I'm done with this book, Hospice Heart book, I'm going to go back in mine, because I'm going to be doing more motivational and inspirational. Now that I've compared both, my other book's going to take on a whole new meaning. It won't just be chapters. It's going to be this book intertwined. I'm going to do more relative stuff to today, because I feel that's very important in today's chaotic world, if that's a good word to use, chaotic world. And somebody who's sane, somewhat sane like myself, has to bring that stability to some people. So I'm a firm believer in stability, not instability, and stability. So somebody has to read some stuff that may be a little difficult, but it's positive. Even through the little negativity, if I met a woman who had lung cancer and emphysema who was going to smoke till the day she couldn't puff or take a breath, we're good. Shalom all. Shalom, hello. Hello, Floretta. How nice to finally see you. And shalom, shalom, goodbye. And shalom, peace. When you turn on the news today, oh, some of you are going to be really upset. Not saying who, but you may. And then I will not be reading tomorrow. Oh, what did I say? Be kind, be patient, and call someone and tell them you care. I will give you a respite Saturday and Sunday. You will not have to listen to me, though you may want to. I am going to read my document from the health department live. Don't know what time, but it'll be on my Facebook page. It's also on there now on the other one in a hard copy. But I want to read it. Like I did for YouTube, I want to read it now. So tomorrow I will read. I have been on, I just don't comment. I read your book. Good girl. I remember getting it for you. So Floretta just has been on, but she doesn't comment, as do most of you. If it's personal, do Messenger. If it's not, if it's about the books or the reading, or you have anything enlightening to say, leave it with the comments, because it inspires other people. God bless you all. Shabbat Shalom, Jewish sisters and brothers, and anybody else, and everybody else. All right, I'm going to hit finish. You know what that means.